Hello, everybody. Again, finally, I've been very busy. End of month, first of month. Nothing going on but rent. But that's not really true. It's entirely too much going on and the rent, right? Okay, this is video 7 on YouTube channel hashtag love still matters! Exclamation mark. No, it doesn't seem like it does. But God is love, so love still matters. Giving honor to God, and God bless everybody out there in the world, all of God's creation, whoever you are, whatever you believe, God bless you. And hopefully, that blessing I just gave to you from my heart, hopefully it makes you feel good and helps things get better, helps you be more blessed. Okay, well, let's get on with video 7. We ended after I kind of did a shamoosh. The intro video, I would highly recommend you guys go in order. I know I had a few hiccups at the beginning, and but I have fixed those where you can see the numbers of the videos. And even though I do a little recap as we go, for the purposes that of learning and staying with me and us, whoever the us's are out there, the 2 people that may be watching, so that we can stay together on this journey and not, be all over the place where you're in the journey on video 6 and somebody else is in the journey on video 3, and we may have all started together. And because of the recap, and you can always go back and watch the videos, it's certainly easy to catch up and put it all together, but you will get a much better understanding of things because this is a chronological, if you will, sense of things. Presentation, review, from myself, from studying research, and researched research. It is a timeline somewhat before slavery, the Atlantic slave trade as we know it, slavery as we know it in 2020. So you definitely want to understand what the heckity poo is this all about if you start with video number 6. And I am noticing more people have watched video number 6. Thank you. It's just that please, as if you share this channel and this healing journey series, please encourage others to view the intro video, read the description of what this is supposed to be about, and start with video 1 and stay in numbered order if possible. Now, I know the videos are different time lengths, and some people may not have as much time or patience. And so you just might pick on the one that you want to pick on. However you want to do it, that's fine. I'm just going to make sure that each one brings something, and hopefully you can take something away from it, whether you're in order or not, whether you're doing it in chronological order or not, or understanding the actual timeline of prior to and at the onset and on through slavery to now. Okay, so video 6 ended on a longer note than intended, and since more people than not have watched it, then you know that it encompassed more information about, okay, ending with, let's kind of think about teasing others. I did mention any teasing or hee hee ha ha's that may have gone on. I don't have to believe everything I hear, but on the news or street news, whatever, somebody up the streets news. But whether it's the teasing of the first lady's accent, as great as she is, and beautiful and poised, and none of that stuff is easy. I mean, I'm sitting kind of slumped over in my chair. But anywho, not to get back on that soapbox, said what I said and meant it. And I'm going a little bit backwards because I'm looking at the notes. The whole Karen phenomenon, strangely and thankfully, I haven't seen a lot of, phenomenon Karen behavior videos posted, as I watch YouTube videos a lot myself, nor others posting them from either observing an incident or an alleged incident, or being an alleged victim of a phenomenon Karen incident. And so that's a good thing, because again, there are a lot of Karens who were named that in the 60s that have absolutely nothing to do with this phenomenon Karen behavior. And so again, call people by their names, call folks out, put them on blast. You cutting a rug and your name is Loosey Goosey, Van Boosie, then that's the name that needs to be put out there. And if you really cutting a rug, well, that's what needs to be put on the police report or whatever complaint, however informal or formal of a complaint you're going to file. The person has a name. And, we went through that big word history. How about that one? Where did the word slave come from? What was its origins? Way before the Atlantic slave trade, all these words, some of which obviously are similar depending on the language or culture, whether it was an esclavo or an esclave, very close. And then some words that you would never think were considered words that were relative to the word slavery. Locomotive, if all, flashbulb and orphan, and Rabu and Rob, with this lowercase letter R, not the name Rob. Like, really? Like, just, who knew? From the Slavonic people or the Slavs, put an E and you have a slave. So big word origin history that I was hoping that wouldn't just put people in the mind that here we go with somebody trying to teach us a history class. No, and sorta, but I just thought it was so interesting because slave, or slavery is pretty much, or enslaved. That's what we're accustomed to hearing. And I just thought, hey, let's dig into this word so that if our kids ask us, we can explain it. And then we can know for ourselves. So we won't think it just came out of nowhere, or it was just invented, in the Atlantic slave trade. And next thing you know, Africans were just called slave. Boom. No. So that's why we went. And then we went over the history of the powers and the exchanges of power, if you will, through wars and dominance from those wars, which obviously include political, wealth, what have you, between, Spain and Portugal and, Britain and, and then, of course, subsequent way, America, if you will, now, of course, called the United States, some Germany stuff, whatever. So we went through all of that because there was this big question for me that I've heard other people say, but I imagine other people would feel what kind of like the who, what, when, why, and where. Where on earth, who thought of this stuff? Who? How did this whole slave thing come to be? Something so hard and long, horrible, bad news. I mean, if I find one good thing about slavery in and of itself as an institution, as an industry, trust me, it'll be in one of these videos. But so far, I haven't seen it. And of course, this is about information chronologically from the old timeline prior to the Atlantic slave trade coming on forward, as a healing mechanism, so that as we become more knowledgeable and, sad, or was like, really? Or, upset, like, you don't mean that happened? Thought I knew, or who knew that? You get to grieve and you get to get it out. I'm getting it out by doing this, some of my feelings and understandings and what have you with regards to what I knew and what I didn't know. So with that being said, since I've gone all the way back to the first page of video 1, regarding a healing journey about slavery, racism, systemic racism, awakening, which, learning about it, knowledge, and a reckoning. Okay. And so then let's get on way over back here. Did I say way over back here? Yeah, I know that was not right. But y'all knew what I was talking about. So any Hoosiers. I said I was going to keep these videos to 30 minutes or less, and then video 6 is the most watched, and it's the longest, really. And I can't even tell if people are watching the whole thing, and you should, because why not? But I know, like myself, there are long videos that I watch that I'm interested in, and sometimes people are just doing absolutely nothing. I don't even know why I'm staring at it, and I know we like those quick 1 minute to 5 or 10 minute YouTube videos because we know, boom, we can watch it and we're out of there. So, I'd love to keep it as short as possible in that 30 or under 30-minute window. But, it is what it is. And, if you have to pause and come back and pick back up, I'm speaking slow enough, and I'm speaking in my regular at home, real down home personality tone, so that I'm not speaking so fast that you can't grasp, or take notes. By the way, pen and pad for those that want to take notes. And as far as there will be sources of factual information, which the majority of this is. If it's my opinion, I'm going to tell you it is. If I'm making a comment, a personal comment, you're going to know it because I'm going to be doing all of that and whatever. But definitely factual information, and I'll let you know where those facts are coming from. And with just a little bit of a different twist, I thought for video 7, instead of getting right into what I said we'd get into at the end of video 6, the reasons for the development of the slave trade, reasons for it. See, at first it was the origin of the word and how did anyone become powerful enough to establish and harness and do this thing, and all that. And then my little extra throw in personal, and then that one video about my own personal experience with systemic racism that I'm still currently enduring, and it causes quite a bit of anxiety. We'll get into that, hopefully not tonight, because I'm supposed to be talking about this stuff. But I decided for video 7 to be something that is coming from me. I'm the source of video 7. How about that one? Oh, I'm saying I'm the source, but I'm not giving, I didn't say my name. Well, hashtag love still matters. YouTube channel. Me, the source. Okay. Anyway. All right. This is a quote that I made up. Quote, love begets love. And beget means love creates love. Because I think they use that in the Bible. Who begot who? Create, procreate. So if you love, then you can create love. It doesn't mean you're always going to get love in return, but I mean, at least try that and see what happens. Care. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't do my quote. Let me do my quote, then I'll get to maybe breaking it down a little. Quote: love begets love, comma. Care begets thankfulness, comma. Humility begets peacefulness, comma. Hate begets violence, period, end quote. News, right? Well, I mean, we get it. Love, care, then, if somebody's being loving and caring to you, you're going to be thankful and grateful for that, of course, and it should make you feel humility and a sense of peace and such. Then the whole hate thing, well, then hate begets more hate and frustration, aggravation, anger, and foolishness and misunderstanding and misconstruence and whichever word was right. And a bunch of other ugly things that may occur in between, or just one quick thing and kaboom, violence. Unfortunately, that can end and ends and has ended. It's not as if I haven't forgotten. And as of today, what is it? What is it? September the 5th. And I think I'm a day off on news. So between the 4th and the 5th. Thank God for the young man healing from being shot in the back. And another incident that has occurred that's the young man with the street and the bag, and he died 7 days later. And I mean, we don't always know what the initial circumstances are, because we don't know what's about to go on in somebody's life or the moment or whatever, and in people's houses, and nobody has a phone ready at somebody's door. But I'm here to tell you, surely we wonder, oh, what are the other circumstances that even got it to this part of the video? But I tell you, whatever it was, I don't see where that man deserved to die. Not even, mental health, drugs were not even, and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he handcuffed? Anyway, some point. It looked like it was raining or something too. And for whatever reason, he was disrobed, unclothed. Can law enforcement carry some blankets or something in their trunk, or something to put on people's bodies if they're out of it, or having an issue? And then if something, especially once someone is handcuffed, I'm not trying to tell the police what to do, but I am giving some suggestions right now. If someone is handcuffed, okay, and apparently he either said he had COVID or thought something, so then there's a bag to protect the people, just like, mask, I guess, protect our mouths. So like apparently to protect the police officers from this alleged COVID. Then okay, so then, the bag on the head, in the street, on the ground, facing the ground. Well, you have people complaining that they can't breathe with the mask on to protect us from COVID. How you gonna breathe with a whole head mask on, face down on the concrete? Because you need to protect the officers from COVID for sure. But why are you protecting the street from COVID? You know what? That's my opinion. This video 7 is, like I said, I'm the source. I watch news like everybody else. Of course, I don't have all of the facts. It's not a good look. I mean, I do have my alarm clock set, so let me get on with what I wrote here. before I have to take video 7 into video 8's time. So y'all got my little quote. Isn't that cute? Write it down. It's mine. Okay. So just put this YouTube channel behind it. I'm trying to say somebody else said that because I did. Now, this is what I was thinking about. Slavery was bad, but it was also a foundation for how the country pretty much was built and grew and became and is, because it was its industry, its money making machine, and so I akin that to like a concrete slab when you're building a house. So slavery, bad, which was foundational, like a concrete slab when you're building a house. So I have 3 things regarding that I wrote. So resolving all of the problems that arose from slavery, that would be like having, I put equal to, a tsunami, a hurricane, a tornado, an earthquake, and a volcanic eruption. That'd be like all that at once. Of course, all that, I said it was bad. Then remember it's long, hundreds of years. You can barely survive one of those natural disasters, tsunamis and whatnot, or your property, car or something. How are you going to do something with even 2 or 3 of those, let alone all of that? So no, all of the problems that have come about and resulted all this time and to today regarding slavery can't be fixed all at once. Y'all know that. Number 2, resolving even some of the problems resulting from slavery, I think, equals to trying to climb Mount Everest. Now, that's not number 2. All these natural disasters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. But you don't see people, recorded that have climbed Mount Everest in droves. Still hard. And 3 is the one I believe in, the 3. I don't want to say the law of 3s like I do at home, but I just said it. But I believe in kind of like 1, 2, 3, ABC. That's kind of me. Like 1, and then 2, and then, when I'm making my points in my personal conversations, I'm first of all, then secondly, and then third. 4th and 5th, we're probably not even conversating anymore because it's either too upsetting of a subject or I probably want to conversate with you if I have to go into 4th or fourthly, if that's a word. Number 3, but since slavery in all of its parts, the house, like the house, I'm comparing this to a house, like we're building a house. So the house would be the founding the country, for example, the slave trade, which was buying and selling of Africans, and the resulting industries, and obviously cotton, sugar, cane, tobacco, etc., and the resulting wealth for mostly whites only, and very few free blacks. I don't want nobody saying, well, there was a couple of rich blacks, there's a few rich blacks in New York. We're going to get into that. And I mentioned that back in the 1 through 6 videos. That, for the few that were, well, the majority sure weren't. They were slaves, broken, poor. And I did say that if you were a free slave because you got freed, or you somehow, somebody made you freed because you were in the right place at the right time, and you actually amassed a good living or wealth, well, good, praise the Lord. But could have done, just done the same thing in Africa. So Africa's a huge continent. There's so many parts of Africa, lots of wealthy parts. Anyway, so let's keep it moving here. Again, this is me. There may be many solutions, and some have been presented, tested, and tried. But this country is still closer to the issues and aspects of slavery and racism than farther away from them. For instance, systemic racism, housing inequality, financial inequality, segregated churches. What, white church, black church? Really? So, of course, there are non-denominational churches, but I'm talking about the majority of churches. White church, black church, same God, all Christians. Segregated colleges. Don't try to act like that's not the majority sense. Probably preference. Don't. And that is my opinion, but well, you can do what you want to do, but I say feel and think and all of that, and I'm gonna get some stats out in a little bit, but I'm not gonna have no argument about it. It's just my little comment. Mass incarceration of blacks. Now we know that's the case. Brutality and unfair harassment of blacks by some police. And it's been a lot for long moons back, and it's still and look like it's growing. But that's some police, and y'all know it. And those policemen, y'all be, it's worse than being ashamed of yourself. You're shaming your families, your friends, your church members, your neighbors, and everybody. And their departments, some police and their departments. So that would be some departments and some police, not all. Cultural bias with contradictions. Now I threw this in because I hear it in personal talk, around your buddies, whatever race or mixes of races, friends, or different generations, little cliques here and there, little chats. Okay, well, I'm about to chat this out live. Cultural bias with contradictions. Okay, these are some of the contradictions. I've just really been kind of like scratching my head over for a long time. Let me throw them out here. Our body shapes, black people, African descendant, I don't know, big lips. Mine are not even that big, but anyway. Big hips. Do I have it? Because I'm always trying to say something. I got here we go. Our body shapes versus mass plastic surgery to copy or surpass that would be African descendants, natural lips, hips, butts, etc., and aversion or even fear and disgust of our skin color, African descendants. But tanning is extremely popular and has been a long time lucrative and to many a necessary business. And some of it looks good. You don't overdo. Stereotypes about our natural rhythm and dance that we obviously got from our African ancestors. Know them people can dance. For real. You can't outdance an African. African, Jamaican, don't even try. You'll get embarrassed. I don't care how good you are. You can be like the best. Dance next to an African, a full-blooded African, or a Jamaican. Hmm, child. Yeah, but anywho, stereotypes about our natural rhythm and dance, but a love for our music and musicians, comma, remarks about our athletic ability, but fandemonium, sometimes pandemonium, at games with fan gear, high ticket sales, and even idolizing some players like Rockstar. Extremely and huge. I stood next to some one time in my life. I can't remember when it was. I thought I was in the land of the giants. I was thinking to myself, how do people get that big? It's impossible. Anyway, go ahead. I'm telling y'all to go ahead, but I'm telling me to go ahead. One reasonable and doable solution would be doing a few real change projects at a time. Now I know I may have made a few people. I'm not confused. Back in that page, I just went from the 10 and cultural biases. If the shoe fits, wear it. It's not that big of a deal. We're all entitled to it. I'm just talking. And if it don't get all discombobulated. Okay, where are we? One reasonable and doable solution would be doing a few real change projects at a time. Come on, some real change stuff. 1, 2, 3. Again, one, then two. Okay, one, like community investments and police reform, like there's something new, but check it out. Regarding racial profiling and de-escalation training. Okay, well, that's not real new, but I just kind of like the way I put it all in that sentence. Let's say that again. Community investments. So this defund the police, that's what people mean. But I'm sorry, I wouldn't have said the word defund. I would have said the word upgrade the police and training, this de-escalation training, reorganize some of the aspects, reorganize up those defund that confused, there's oh my gosh, that was like dismantle or get rid of please. See, don't like community investments and police reform regarding racial profiling. Stop. You get a call and it's a tall black guy or it's a short black woman, and then you see a short black, it's her. Get some more descriptive information carrying on and whatnot. And de-escalation training. And I saw some beautiful things when I was catching up on nightly news earlier today about some de-escalation training. What police force was that? Boy, I wanted to give them some kudos. That blessed. I'm gonna find out who that was and give some kudos, the next thing. Because they were doing some really good de-escalation training. I was thinking to myself, see. Number 2, Zoom, YouTube, media forums, podcasts, TED Talks on legal ways to protest and knowing your rights during police encounters. And that information has been posted online by Uber. And I don't know if they still have it up, but I was reading it last week. They gave a big, commentary about diversity and whatnot. Then they referred you to a page or so of what your rights are during protesting. And some of that stuff is common sense, and some of that stuff is some stuff to know. So kudos to them for doing that. And look, some of the stuff up is online. Manners hurt. Now, when I say humor, what's funny about all of this? Nothing. But every now and again, I've seen, say, a police officer or somebody, get into a little dance. Or that's what I mean by humor. I just mean by, being humble, caring, marching off to war, it's take a deep breath, Not that you kiki, not that kind of humor, just more humility humor. Like, give yourself a break. Give somebody else a break. And I didn't say it's required. I just say it doesn't hurt. But manners is more so than that humor thing, because there's not a whole lot of humor we can find in this nowhere. Okay, and three last, broadcasters, directors, producers, and obviously that's TV, movies, whatever, show our commonness and similarities more in the news, film, music, etc., instead of so black and white. For instance, instead of princess stories, as if all girls seek royalty to be a princess, what about a boy or a girl who dreams of becoming an engineer or astronaut or ballerina or teacher, doctor, etc.? And you can make it real cute if it's, cartoonish, or you can make it real heroish or whatever, but, not just kind of the Wonder Womanish, Catwomanish kind. That's good too. The ones that can fight and throw stuff and magic and whatever. But I mean, real world and even fantasy world, but just not the same. Turn into something at midnight. Oh, I want to be a princess, or live in a castle. Well, that's nice, but it's not enough of that going around for everybody. So make some diversity within what is shown to folks. Now, that's my suggestion to y'all. Take it, please. Run with it. Now, I'm almost finished, even though I think this clock finna go off on me, but let me keep going. So it's like renovating your house. This is what I'm talking about. It's like renovating your house. Number one, paint a room or two, because you need to reorganize and clean first, right? So that's it. Just paint a room or two and stop. See, I said you can't do this whole everything at once. Then kaboom, is everything. Your house is renovated. Racism is over with. Come on now. So it's like renovating your house. Us working on this racism and systemic racism and these problems and issues and who's a Karen and who's not. Really. Number two, invest in new furniture, create a new theme, maybe for a room or something. Number three, throw away unnecessary or old items and objects, and certainly donate nice things to charity. Or the heck is FF and N's? It'll come to me. Anyway, and see, get it, throwing away old things. That could mean your old attitude. But I'm talking about, I'm putting it in the example of renovating your house, but I'm talking about renovating yourself. And this racism issue in this country, in this world, in some places more than others, but in this country, come on now. Number four, put in new windows, but maybe you can only afford two at a time. Y'all know how much windows cost. And I've actually, some commercials suggest knowing folks be broke. We can even do, we can, if your credit don't pay, we can do two at a time or whatever, really. Because I've thought about that before when I thought about getting like new windows all around different houses I live in. I can't afford windows for one window every 6 months or so. Anyway, number five, create a nice area for serenity, meditation, exercise, etc. Get it? Creating nice areas. Remember that part about community investments? Y'all see how I'm putting that together. Meditation, exercise, get it? Exercise, recreational investment play. Y'all see. Number six, reinvent some of your spaces. That's kind of the same as five. Like in your house, your formal dining. First of all, is quarantine. Nobody having dinners, big dinners. Shouldn't be anyway. So formal dining room, it's nothing wrong with that. That's back in the day, old school, beautiful chandeliers and stuff. Ain't nobody using that stuff. Since somebody got dusted and all that, collecting dust. Use that room for something else. Make a yoga room, Pilates or something. Garages. A lot of people do different things with garages, and they're starting to do a lot of shelving and storing so it can be organized. And your patio, make that daggone thing an oasis. Maybe you can afford to go to vacation or a resort, right? Or especially right now during COVID, but make that patio nice and resortish or whatever, hotelish. Well, not as hotelish, but you know what I'm saying, outdoor oasis-ish. Now, number 7, get a new roof or a fence for better security, because you know you got a fence, but you got 2 or 3 slats missing. Now, what kind of security you got going there? And personal style, of your house, is the style of your house. But I mean, you don't want to mess up the value of the neighborhood by, maybe building I don't know, a magic beanstalk at the top of your house or whatever, and then can't nobody sell a house because it's like a magic beanstalk you done built. Um, and we got 9 and 10, and I think I'm gonna get buzzed. I'm gonna check the time in a second. Number 9, add energy efficient items like solar, energy efficient appliances, especially if you're not buying a new house that has those in them. You got an older house, and you can save more money when you do that. Energy efficient, your AC units. Get it, energy efficient, the climate. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And 10, get new doors, alarms, cameras, lighting, beef up security. Again, like the fence. Um, did I say that nobody has a right or needs or deserves or wants or should have a gun? Did I say that? Because that's not how I feel. Not what I mean at all. But security also, so that you can feel safe. Okay, so I just got this little thing saying that my connection is not something. And so I don't know what that meant for y'all, but I have a little page and a half left. So I'm going to stop because it's been 42 minutes. It's long anyway. All right. I'll come right back and finish video 7 of slavery and racism and everything in between it. A healing journey. And, we still some more healing. So I'm going to keep going. See you.